They say I'm in a big WhatsApp group with some of the best holistic doctors all over the country. Some of the stuff they're implementing. Doing 3D body composition, gut analysis, DNA, mineral and heavy metals. There's loads of stuff. It's just bringing it to the people to see where you're at, having that awareness. And then if you have got a certain gene mutation which is going to cause you problems, then you've got the information there to say.
Welcome.
How are we, mate? Good to see you.
Thanks so much for coming on. This is a podcast I've been really looking forward to, as for me I know it's going to be interesting personally, but I know it's also going to be very educational, so it's one that I've been looking forward to.
Thanks
for coming in. For anybody watching who doesn't already know you are, which a lot of people do, you've got a business called AI Healthician, and your bio reads longevity and performance coach, which is obviously just really condensed because there's so much more to you than that. Can you please try and put into words for me and describe exactly what it is you do to give us a general understanding of exactly what you do? I know it's vast and your knowledge is vast, but if you could try and...
Yeah, well, basically, we're just looking at ways and we can improve our health. So we do a lot of different diagnostic testing to see where we're at, what our current levels are, whether that's the metabolic analysis. You know, you've come in and done that yourself, haven't you? Doing 3D body composition, gut analysis, DNA, the new test, the mineral and heavy metals. There's loads of stuff. It's just bringing it to the people to see where you're at, having that awareness. So you can... whether it's for longevity, you're just a normal person on the street who just wants to live a happy, healthy life, or you're a high-level athlete and you're looking to make them marginal gains.
You don't do ifs, buts or maybes, do you? You're only dealing absolutes. No, but on a serious note, everything you do, from my experience, is all based on solids, as in numbers, figures, facts. There's very little guesswork in your approach. And for me personally, as someone who's used your services before, Matt, and just as a general onlooker, it is what makes it a little bit different and quite unique. I don't know whether that still stands far and wide, but definitely locally. It's different what you do, your approach is different, everything is, it's facts and figures, there is no guesswork. And you've brought science and technology together and you've aligned it with health and fitness and used it in aid to significantly improve our health and well-being and our performance on a whole. And it just interests me exactly what you're doing and how it's come to be. Where was the idea for AI Healthician born? Where did it come from? What made you think, I'm going to start that, or I'm going to go down that road? How did that come to be?
Yeah, well, from the beginning, like when I was young, a teenager, I was down the track every day. I was quite a high-level athlete. I was a sprinter. Hurdles was my main event, so I did that for Liverpool and for England, and went away for Great Britain as well once. So I've always been into sport, but then you know what it's like when you get a bit older, you start going out drinking and going out with the lads, and you lose track of it. And because I stopped winning, because I went from underage level to men's, obviously the hurdles go up. I never grew with them. Then so the love goes when you start losing, and then fell away from sport for a couple of years. I was always playing footy at an half decent level, never really, I wasn't really great. It was just because I was fast, really, more than anything. And then amongst my 20s, wasn't really involved in it. And then when I was 30, I went on a bit of a self-development journey. Went on with Martin Bowen, did my courses with him, and I did this course he does called the Level 4, which is all about self-development. It's about looking and finding what you're good at, what you can make money out of, a hobby, basically. And it just ignited a few things with me. And I'm an engineer by trade. That's what I'm qualified in. I'm still working as an engineer now.
That explains it.
So that's where the sport comes into it, because I've always had that passion for sport. And then the engineering side, the data, we're looking at it with different machines, how we can improve the outputs of a certain machine, looking at the data to see how we can make that the better. And then this is just the same with the body. We're looking at anything we can test, we can measure. So if we can see something, we can see where it's at, we can implement some changes and we can look to measure again to see if we can see improvements.
It's impressive. So it's really the engineering side. I love how you've brought them two things together. What was the catalyst for you to get on that journey? May I ask, Matt? You know, like for the self-improvement, was it just a longing for change? Did you feel a bit lost? What made you think, you know what, I want to do something here. I'm going to change here.
I've always been like, always looking to
innovate.
Like, yeah, and I'm always looking to have my own sort of business and not be relying on someone else, working for someone else. I've always wanted to do that eventually.
It's freedom as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And that just ignited it for me. And what happened was, when I'd finished that course, I just was looking for different ways. We'd do loads of fishbone diagrams and things, just like how you put things together, what your perfect life would look like, what your perfect week would look like, what it consists of. And I ended up looking down just at different bits of kit, and this kit from America come across from California, the Staiku body composition analysis machine. So I was looking for it, I had a call with them, and it was quite expensive, and I thought, you know what, considering I'm not even in that field, it's a bit of a chance that. And then I was just looking online, and then I seen a gym that had gone into liquidation and they were selling one, so I just bought it for $2,000 on a whim and thought, right, you've got to make something of this now, let's see what comes of it. So that was where it started really, and then just sat on it for a few months. My good mate Tom Stalker helped me out a lot at the start. He was taking me around all the local boxing gyms.
Great amateur boxer Tom Stalker, weren't he? And obviously turned professional. But
yeah, that's it. And he was managing quite a few of the lads as well. So he'd be taking to me to Manchester's finest, up to the Rotunda, measuring all the lads, getting them on it, getting a few pictures, building up an audience on social media, and then I'd put some packages together. Really took off January 2021. Built this package together, 12 weeks to good health, and it just involved getting people on, giving them a plan to improve the health, looking at biomarkers on the scanner for reduction on waist circumferences, increase in lean muscle mass, decrease in body fat. And then I just add that up as a formula, and whoever lost the most over the course won £1,000. So I managed to, you know what it's like in January, everyone's keen. So we capitalised on that, and a lot of my mates helped me out, just all jumped on. So I had about 45 people jump on that. So that was really the stepping stone then. So there's a bit of money in the bank then, and because obviously I was still working, I wasn't having to rely on this money to live on. So
it was a sideline, but it was a blossoming sideline.
That's it. But I could always, the plan is, and it still is, to reinvest. So always looking for the latest innovation, latest things we can add.
I'm going to touch on that later, because that's what impresses me with you. Out of everything, you're always putting into yourself, you're always putting back in, and I can see that. You're a world of knowledge, but you're investing in yourself heavily all the time. You're always coming with new stuff and that, and I like that side of things. And I was going to come to that next and say to you, what really impresses me with you is your commitment to knowledge. You seem to always just be putting in a conscious effort to evolving and learning, and then sharing your wealth of knowledge with others. And you're always catching on to like up and coming innovative technologies that are complicated but simple to use. And I love that. Like I remember it came to you when you gave me like a small breathing apparatus and was like, listen, you know, if you do this breath work, Jack, this is going to help you. It's going to give you that little bit of an extra edge. And someone else would probably look at that and be like, yeah, you know, I'm blowing into this thing and holding my breath and blowing into it again and stuff. And they just overlook that. But for you, it's the little things in it and them small marginal gains, and you keep pushing and trying to find something. And I like that about you, Matt.
Yeah, 100%, mate. You just, well, your brain's your own biggest weapon, isn't it? So that's what you should be spending most of your money on, investing in yourself. And I don't even track how much money I've spent in the time just on courses, and like when we get the new bits of kit, getting clued up on that, getting up to speed with it all.
You were out at FIBO as well, weren't you? Or was it FIBO? Like
FIBO, yeah. So I've been to a couple of the fitness expos and the World Health Expo, and they're just great place. When you put yourself in them circles, you're going up and meeting new people.
You're evolving, aren't you?
That's it. Just expanding your team. Like the people I'm in contact with all over the world now for knowledge. Like if I don't know the answer to things, I've got someone there who does know the answer. So I don't claim to know everything, but I know most people who probably will know. So
what I love about it is as well, it's facts. It's like you'll get somebody in, you'll do some sort of testing, and it's like, right, okay, give me 10 seconds, I'll put this into the computer, and what can't speak can't lie, or we'll send this off and I'll come back to you in a couple of days, this is going to America or whatever, and when it comes back, it's solid facts. It's not like me saying to you, well, I think if I was a sports coach, or someone who was to enhance your fitness, well, I think if you've done this, there's no think about it, this is what these statistics read. From this, we gauge that if you do X, Y, and Z, guaranteed, you've got to improve. You've got to. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's gonna happen.
That's it. Yeah, as I say, again, it comes back to test and measure. You can do something. You can implement your ideas, and then you come back and you try it. And 9 times out of 10, it will work, but it's not necessarily the case for everyone. I say the body is everyone's so different. So like a lot of people, there'll be always fads and new things coming out. I want to train like this, or I want this new supplement. It does X, Y, and Z, and yeah, it may do that for you, but everyone's different. So you just gotta. I encourage people to be their own, experiment with things. I say I'll make a signpost that I'll recommend things which you think are gonna help you and benefit you, and I try it for yourself. Do your own research. Don't take anything that I say for gospel. I'll just show you. I've looked at it. There's studies there to back it up. So have a little look yourself and see what you think.
Do you feel you've got a niche?
Yeah, I do feel I've got a niche. I brought quite a few things together which no one else is doing. And I'm not in competition with anyone. As I say, I always speak to the PTs and other health coaches around and say, like, you can come and work with me. I'm not taking your clients.
You're helping them grow.
If anything, I'm going to prove how good you are. If you bring your clients in and we can do the testing and you're implementing your training and they come back, then that's a good testimonial to yourself.
You can work alongside these people. If if someone's got a personal trainer and they come to you and seek advice, if they go away and work on that with their personal trainer, they'll come back to you and see, well, yeah, what he's guided me with has improved. You can work together to try and achieve a common goal, a result. Do people come to you with different things? Do you just have longevity people in, Matt, who come in and say, listen, I just want to live longer, I want to last longer, I want to be better? Or is it a lot of people goal-focused, goal-driven?
I'd say it's probably 70% more people who are performing athletes, 30% people who are just looking to, maybe 50-50, yeah. It's a mixture, because I say, this world we're living in now, people are getting a bit more switched on. We're still miles behind some of the countries, like, because the thing is here, everyone, well, not everyone, but people rely on the NHS. They just think, I'll just go and live my life. I'm not interested in that. No, I'll just go to the pub and I'll just eat what I want to eat. And then they wait for a symptom to arise and then they implement these changes. So I'm just trying to change that narrative so people take a proactive approach to the health. So it's a preventative look. And then you don't ever have to go to the doctors and rely on them, and it's a failing system anyway. So with the likes of America, where you're paying for your healthcare,
the miles ahead of us, aren't
that's it. Well, it's in their interests to invest in their health, because they're getting it with a big medical bill if they don't. So, but we haven't got that here. It's so we're a little bit behind.
Do you think it'd change if we did?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think it is. We're on the progressive curve, but we're just a little bit slower than some other places.
Definitely. I feel like now as well, it's cool to work out, and it's cool to self-develop, where years ago it never had the same thing to it. If you were sitting there meditating and, you were on a self-development journey and you were exercising all the time, and that, people are probably thinking he's fucking mad. Where now it's a lot of people are doing it. It's common, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more common here in the UK for people to want to better themselves and live a healthier, cleaner, better lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel like my age, around that age, 37, we were the last of like the pub culture. Like we'd be in the Bulldog every 3-4 nights a week.
Back then, that's what it was,
yeah, that's it. Now the younger kids aren't. They're not like that, are they? As much?
No. Where back then, if you were on this journey you're on now, the lads would have been in Lacoste traffic with Dockball boots on, going, what are you on about, lad? Yeah, it's different culture, different world. But obviously, you found a place in society now, in this world, the way it's developing and the way it's going. I thought I'd do this as a little section with you because it's a little bit different. It's time for some education for me and definitely for other people. Is it okay if I just hit you with like some titles or topics and you can give me some feedback and information for myself and the viewers, because I'd love to have a conversation with you about them, but I don't want to look silly because I don't know enough about it myself to hold a conversation. So if I just give you a little topic and you give me a bit of information about it, Matt, and try and like guide us. What is a methylation test and how can we benefit from it?
So methylation, it's all come about in the last couple of years, hasn't it? With Gary Brecker's been the big one pushing it. So firstly, I was intrigued by it. I was like, where do I get one of these from? I'm trying to do a search for one of them in the UK. I couldn't find one. That was one of the main reasons I went over to FIBO in Germany to try and find someone to get on with. But basically, it's the most important biomechanical process in the human body. It's going on thousands of times a second in every cell in our body. And it's basically how we're just converting the raw materials from the food we're eating into the methylated forms which we need for bodily functions to prevent from deficiencies and the way we act, the way we behave.
Let me try and understand this in a dummy's way, Matt. Are you trying to say to me, if I ate a piece of broccoli and you ate a piece of broccoli, you might get a different amount of nutrients from that food,
of course,
than what I'd get because you're absorbing more of it than I am?
Yeah, so talking broccoli there, so the FOLH gene, which is how we process folate. So if we've got a down-regulated gene on that, then our body's going to struggle processing folate. So then we might look to looking at other genetic pathways along the way. We might say, right, it might be, we'll look at your diet and we might say, can you say honestly, every day on your plate, you've got a lot of greens on there? If you haven't, okay, well, maybe we might want to look at adding the supplementation in. So we use supplementation, but for what it's for, it's to supplement our diet. We don't want to just throw people on a load of supplements. I always try and take a food first approach.
Yeah, so it's an add-on, not a replacement.
So say, if you can say, I'm going to add more greens into my diet, and you can say that honestly that you're going to do it, then yeah, okay, great, we'll take a food first approach. But if it's like, you know what, I'm not really going to do that, we might look at putting a green shake in the morning, or we might look at taking methylated beef formula, something which is going to support that, because we can look at recommended daily allowances, what you should be having, are you getting it? And now you've got a gene mutation, so that recommended daily allowance is going to be more for you anyway, because you can't absorb it all. So that's basically what it's looking at. It's finding the raw materials from our diet, what you're struggling with, and then it can give us little indications that we may be susceptible to different diseases or different health problems. So by knowing it, it's like your blueprints for life. So it's never going to change. You can take it on the day you're born, you can take it on the day you die. That's not going to change. Once you've got that information, you just use that to support your lifestyle. So
is everyone's unique, Matt?
Exactly. Everyone's different. And this is the world of epigenetics. So basically that it's looking at your genes, but they can be impacted by the environment. So if you're living a life which is full of toxins, which you can't get away from them, but if you're drinking a lot, smoking, not living the healthiest life, on medication or other drugs, then that can impact how well your body's going to absorb and how well them genes are going to interact. You could even have a fully functioning gene, but it's acting as if it's dirty because the lifestyle. So we just want to create the environment which is most beneficial to you. And then if you have got a certain gene mutation which is going to cause you problems, then you've got the information there to say, right, okay, well, I struggle. So for instance, if it's like glutathione, GSS gene, your body struggles to detoxify. I'll just say, you don't need to take the supplements every day, but if you're looking on going over to Ibiza for 3 days, you're really going to be struggling when you get back. So we might look at taking milk thistle, dandelion, NAC, some other supplements which are just going to help support that process.
You're blowing my mind, keep talking, sorry. Just all held the knowledge, go on.
Yeah, so it's just putting the tools in people's toolboxes. So give them the guidance, what they need to do. Not saying you don't need to live this crazy healthy life, not doing anything, you know what I mean? But just have the awareness of where your weaknesses are and support them in the best way possible.
Client transparency, it seems like that's a really massive factor for you, because obviously if you've got somebody in and not 100% straight with you, then you don't know where you stand. So if you're saying like, listen, will you definitely add more greens into that? Yeah, I will, Matt, I will. And they're not, then they're doing themselves out. Where if they're just honest and straight up with you and like, yeah, mate, there's not much chance of me doing that straight away. They've been transparent with you, they've been honest with you. You'd be like, okay, sound, well, this is the approach we can take, or that's the approach we can take. And obviously, being honest with yourself first and foremost, innit? The first step for anyone who's coming to see you or sit down.
Yeah, and I think that's where it works well, because I think like sometimes when people are going to see a doctor, they can be a bit intimidated and not want to and hold back from telling the truth. And I think I just bridge that gap where I'm approachable. You can be honest and open, and you're not going to have any judgments, because I've been there and done it myself. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's what it is. Then have a little look at this. You know what I mean? So, I don't seem to. Everyone just usually seems to open up with me. So,
straight away and turn around and say, listen, this is the situation. You know where you're going, and you can move forward with them.
That's it. And most of the time, people have paid to come in, and the tests aren't exactly cheap. So people are coming in, and they've already by walking through the door, they've already told me that they're invested in the health. Yeah. So I'm not like I'm picking someone off the street. Do you know what I mean? So they've already made that step, so you know that they're already on board.
Because sometimes if someone's coming to someone like yourself, and obviously, you're a health advocate, and your setup's spot on, by the way, and you come in and you see all your setup and whatever. Some people may be taking back to think, shit, I can't tell him like I'm not eating broccoli in bed. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you just straight up with it and you tell you straight away, then and you can move forward. You can help people in different ways. It doesn't mean you've got to completely and utterly change everything about the life or make the life miserable to try and improve.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. It is just finding the ways which are going to support you in the best way possible.
How's the methylation test carried out?
Just a swab. Takes about a minute to do. We just swab the inside of the cheek with the blood. It's sent off to a lab. It takes about 3 weeks to be analysed, and then we come back and sit down. If it's someone local, we'll sit down and go over it together, or if it'll be on the Zoom or whatever, and then just ongoing support then as well.
Yeah, there's like an aftercare thing with yourself, isn't it? I've been to you before, and you can come back and say, so these are the results, but it's not just there's the results, see you later, it's there's the results, but listen, this is what you need to do now to act on them and improve them. Well, not what you need to do, but this is some advice of what you could do to improve. Talk to me about the gut and the microbiome, because I don't think people realise how important your gut health is.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? It's become more of a hot topic over the last few years, like, hasn't it? But I wouldn't believe how many people struggle with the gut now. It's so common. I mean, it isn't surprising with the state of the food chain. Like, even when you do think you're eating healthy, the chances are you're probably not.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit for me?
So there's something that I encourage you to look at called the Dirty Dozen. And I can't remember the name of the governing body for it, but it's a health agency who put out the most toxic foods. And the number one on that's strawberries most of the time. So you can just be getting your strawberries from the Aldi, you're not washing them. And you think you're eating, I'm having my strawberries and yogurt and I'm eating healthy, but because if you think of the texture of a strawberry, how porous it is, and you think that's in the field and it's getting sprayed, like that's absorbing it well in it. Now if you think of like a banana and avocado, things like that, that's not as likely to get into that, is it?
It's smooth, yeah.
So just having that awareness of the presence of what the fruit or vegetable looks like and what's happening to it. So so all these toxins from what they're spraying the foods, what's in the air, everything is having a big impact on our gut. And basically the microbiome is the test we do looks at 13 biomarkers, looking at how well you can absorb fats, carbs and proteins. See big ones, antibiotic damage, which I'm seeing a lot of. Even like myself, I was really high for antibiotic damage, and I haven't had them for over 15 years.
So is that in the food?
Yeah, it's trace elements in the food.
So you're getting that like second, it's coming through what you're eating basically. So if the animals that you're eating or whatever have been injected with antibiotics or given antibiotics, you're then eating that and consuming it. Am I right in saying that?
Exactly. So the trace elements that are in it are considered safe, but do you think, like myself, if you're eating a lot of meat, if you're eating that 3 times a day, 7 days a week, then is that mineral trace a mineral trace anymore? All of a sudden it's not, is it? It can become a toxic load and it just builds up. So that's contributing to gut issues. So It isn't. That's it's just about restoring the gut, bringing it back to health. So it's about having a healthy microbiome diversity. So again, like the old school gyms where you'd be like on a chicken and rice diet every day, like you're not being exposed to different bacteria. So a good one to do is, like they say, try and eat the rainbow. So your plate's colourful. Having 30 different plants a week, which sounds hard to do, but you could literally do it in one bowl with like, if you had some fruit and yogurt with some seeds sprinkled on. Like a pack of seeds could have like 15 different types of fruits and nuts in from different plants. So it's not, so having that exposure and you've got more microbiome diversity is going to make you less susceptible to picking up little illnesses and having gut issues. So yeah, we also look at pre and probiotic supplements. So there's different good bacteria which are in the gut, and what your gut requires is going to be different to what my gut requires. So loads of good products on the market, but we want to find one which is specific to you. So for instance, you may be really low in bifidobacteria. So what we do is it scans the market for the products with the highest amount of bifidobacteria in, and it scores you highly on that. So that's what it's recommending for you to take. So it's really specific to you. And again, with your food scores, it'll look at over 400 different types of food, and it'll score them out of 10. The ones which are high scoring are going to have really high amounts of the good bacteria that your gut's currently missing and thriving for. And some foods which are like scored 0 to 3 are going to be, we need to completely eradicate from the diet because they're having a really negative effect on your gut. So I had some really good results with that. But yeah, it's surprising how many people really are struggling with it.
Have you ever heard of Gut First, Jan?
Yeah, I've used their stuff when I did my fast. Brilliant.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, brilliant.
I
really
use it
good.
regularly. I've used her for a while and that. She's a world of knowledge about the gut. 100%.
Yeah, their product's really good stuff.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I've used it for a long time. Red light therapy.
Yeah, so this is, I have a few like biohacking bits of equipment which I use to rent out to people. Red light therapy is one of them. I've just been on this morning. I'm in a Concordia clinic now, 1 day a week. They just got a brilliant new, like the Rolls Royce of red light therapy beds.
Seen a picture of it and it
just been on it then. Wow, boss. But yeah, it's called photomodulation. So I think that's the word, photomodulation, and basically it's energizing the cell. Looking at the mitochondria. That's what most of these things are, like hyperbaric oxygen therapy. They're all looking at getting into the cellular health, mitochondrial function.
What is mitochondria?
It's like the energy cell. It's like the energy powerhouse of the cell. So that's what powers everything, what we're doing. So that's what we're trying to charge when we're doing all these healthy biohacking tricks, whether it's PMF, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or hydrogen water, all these things. That's the goal. Reducing oxidative stress in the cell.
Walk me through what red light therapy is, Matt. Do we lie on a bed, you sit under a mat? What is it? How do we get it? And when you receive it, what does it do? So
we've got a few. I just have the panels what you can sit in front of, so you can use it. People have like desktop ones which they can do when they're working. Basically, it's giving you near infrared and far infrared light wavelengths, which is penetrating through the skin and recharging the cell. That's basically how it works. And it's just, you won't really feel necessarily something unless you're like very sensitive. You won't feel any
difference,
any massive different effects straight off, but you will. Like if you've got skin irritations or something like that, you may do.
Yeah, like a reduction in the skin irritation.
Yeah, definitely. But we're using it mainly as a longevity tool. So a lot of the longevity tools, it's like with these supplements and things, it's not something you're going to take and you're going to go, wow,
you feel massively different.
This is just for long-lasting effects.
What's the difference between the system and the cell? Because I seen you do a video when I was having a little look on your socials, and I seen you put something up saying, it was a video and it was saying about, if, for example, vitamin D, if you tested high for vitamin D in the system, but you never really added in a high amount of it in your cell, so you've sort of got a false reading. It seems like you've got a lot in your system, but not a lot in the cell. Talk to me about the difference between the system and the cell, Matt.
Yeah, so when we're looking in the blood, that's called extracellular. So that's what's circulating around the system. When we're looking inside the cell, that's intracellular. So what I was explaining there was on my vitamin D receptor. So this is how I can absorb vitamin D, VDR. I had a double red snip, so I'm really not good at absorbing vitamin D. When I was doing my training and I still first did my test, I was like, well, you know what? Every time I've done a vitamin D blood test, my levels have been through the roof. And they explained to me, yeah, that's exactly why, because it's circulating around in your system and it's not able to get into the cell.
Wow, so it could be higher in the system because it's not getting in. So when you're getting a reading, it's like, yeah, he's got loads of that, but yeah, because your body's not absorbing it. Exactly.
So sometimes the bloods can be a bit misleading. So the latest machine that I've got, the heavy metal and mineral photospectrometer, it's a mouthful, isn't it? It looks in the palm of your hand. It scans 4 points in the palm of your hand.
Scanner?
The LEGO scanner, yeah. So when I've done that, it's confirmed exactly what I thought with the DNA. It works so well. We've done a methylation test because we can see if that's actually having a live effect. So with the DNA, that's your blueprints. We could see some genetic genes switched off. It may not necessarily be having an effect on you at this moment in time. When we're looking inside the cell, we can see, okay, is the magnesium getting in there? Is the vitamin B12? Is the vitamin C? So it's really giving us a picture. But yeah, that's it. So sometimes we're looking outside the cell. The blood, they're both just as important as each other. I'm not saying you need to do an intercellular and don't worry about your bloods. Bloods are really important. But it just gives us another picture to look at.
I think a lot of us think as well, like if we take vitamins and minerals or we take supplements or whatever, that we can just naturally absorb them. But that's not the case, is it? Some depending on our setup inside, some can, some can't, some will get in, some won't. And that's basically going to look inside and see, yeah, look, this is exactly what you are absorbing and this is what you're not. Say if you have got an issue, Matt, and like, for example, the vitamin D weren't getting to your cell the same. It was running around your system, but it weren't getting in the cell. How can you adjust that to make the absorption for that? Or do you just need to just smash it in you to try and get more in? Or how does that work?
Well, you just want to look for the most bioavailable form of it. So, like I was taking me vitamin DK2 as a droplet form, so you want to have that in a droplet or a spray. But it did say on the thing you should take it like 3 times a day. But you know what it's like. It's taking it 3 times.
The likelihood of that,
I'd take it. I'd have it on the side, and when I'd walk past it, I'd take it. Usually in the morning. Sometimes I'd miss a day or whatever. So I wasn't paying a lot of emphasis on it. But then that's just confirmed. No, you really do need to hone in on that. And then with the methylation process, sometimes if we're looking to take something from its raw form to its methylated form. So sometimes we need to take the supplement in the methylated form. So we might take a methylated form of B12 because we're not getting the B12 from our food converting. So that's a little biohack, just a little trick to just get it. You've got it ready. This is how the body wants to use it. So we're going to take it in that form. A lot of thing with gut absorption. So you've heard the saying like we are what we eat, but it's really we are what we can absorb. So a lot of the time we're not able to absorb with the gut, especially when people have got these gut issues. I'm just been speaking with this doctor in America now. I had this idea the other day about, I was listening to something about suppositories. Now I know people take a lot of that for the THC, for the cancer, for it to get in, and looking at the absorption levels when stuff's taken as a suppository. It's available for like 8 hours longer in the bloodstream for you to absorb. So it just got me thinking into some of the people who've got, like myself, with I've got the glutathione gene missing, so for the detoxification. We could take this as a suppository. So we're bypassing the gut. So it could have a real effect. So I'm just looking to get and do some studies on that now. And more, because we've got all the gear here, we can test everything. So we'll look at it. We'll say, okay, yeah, let's take this and monitor it and see if we can get some volunteers, people who come in who are struggling with this, and I'll just recommend, see, let's just try this, and then we can build our own studies up then, you know what I mean, and you can back it up and say, yeah, it's working.
Studies are important, aren't they, Matt, because there's something to go off.
100%, yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of false studies out there as well, caused issues in the world of health?
There is, yeah, but you can just look down that when you're looking at, if you're looking on PubMed or you're looking on anywhere for the resource, you can see whether the person who's done the study has got any financial, what's the word? They've got any interests.
Financial gain from it.
Yeah, they've got any interests in it, then is it genuine? See if it's cross-reference blind studied as well. So if they've had a placebo in, they've took 2 control groups and they've used a placebo with it as well to see what the effects are. But yeah, it's hard to do as well, isn't it? Because these studies cost money, so sometimes it's
known where the resource is coming from as well, innit? You know, sometimes you read something and you think that information, not everything we read is gospel, is it? You know, not all the information we take in is true, is fact.
Yeah.
So it's hard to source.
That's it. Some stuff's peer to peer as well. So when it's that, it's just like a lot of doctors or people who've got together and they've theorised that, like I've just said there, I'm theorising that if we take glutathione as a suppository, it's going to help us with our detoxification. So we haven't.
It's theoretical, but it's not put to the test, and it's only through trial and error and experience that we can look back and say, yeah, you know, factually that works or
yeah,
doesn't.
That's it. But you know, the good thing now is, like, we live in the world of information. There is a lot of misinformation, but when you're looking in the right places, like, just think years ago, like the best strength and conditioning coaches were in the underground gyms had all these great techniques which no one was even familiar with. Like, there's kids now who are training the same way as
professional, high-end elite, athletes.
Like, the information's there for everyone. Like, a new study's done, and like Andrew Huberman or someone will be talking about it the next day.
It's all there for us, isn't it? At our fingertips. We just need to look for it, and it's accessible. Where before the internet, as you say, you know, some people would have had a massive edge because they know someone who's clued up and knowledgeable, and if you didn't, then that was it, as far as it went, unless you went to the library or picked a book up or saw through loads and loads and loads of information. Where now you just pick up a computer or a phone or laptop, whatever, and it's there for you, isn't it?
That's it. I see a lot of people coming in who've got health conditions and they're so clued up. Just had a girl in before who's just had breast cancer, and she's just refused to take chemotherapy. She's just, because people say you can be a conspiracy theorist with things, but then when you start looking for things, you start asking questions, and that's the biggest thing. You should always ask questions. Don't even take anything that I say. I don't always question everything. Like, there's just so much conflict, and it's just all coming to light, isn't it? Like, there's so many, what's gone on over the years with the pharmaceutical industries.
Money.
And it is.
Money's tainted things, hasn't it? I seen an article about brown rice. It's just come to me mind this now, like, and don't know what your views are on this, but I seen an article on brown rice saying that people view brown rice to be better than white, healthier for us, blah blah blah, but it was actually just cheaper to manufacture. The people who were like come on the scene with brown rice originally was just like, it weren't healthier for us, it was actually worse for us, but because it was a lot cheaper to put together, that was a way of them pushing it, and they were like, yeah, listen, this is a more healthy option, blah 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 blah, so they could put it out there. Now I don't know what the truth is in that. You sit down,
yeah, I have heard that myself, but I know white rice is very healthy as well, you know what I mean? So, but
like, a lot of people go, well, I'll have brown rice because it's healthier, but is it healthier, you know what I mean? But was it put out there as a marketing tool to say, yeah, this is healthier, so they could just smash it out because it was cheaper for them to put together anyway, and it was financial gain. So that was their avenue, that was their angle they've taken, you know what I mean? And that's just like a very small topic, and just something that I've come across like recently, and just don't know where to see it, scrolling or whatever, as you do. And there's so, like, I've seen another one saying, like, they say butter's bad for you, butter's good for you, salt's bad for you, salt's good for you. It's hard to know, and it's getting to the root of it, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I can't remember how long back it was now. But all the big food companies, they just jumped on the fat bandwagon, didn't they, years ago? Like, fat's the enemy. Fat's what's causing all the issues. And created all these low fat food options, and people think that they're being healthier by that, but they're just filling it with sugar, and sugar's the real enemy. Fat.
This is sugar free, but it's full of aspartame. So
exactly, yeah.
I know what you're saying. It's
just keywords, isn't it, in marketing? So I can't remember where I heard it now, but do you know McDonald's? What they pay in fines a year, and they have a budget aside for it. So you know. So they used to say, I'm loving it. Yeah. So now, so they drum that into people's heads, drum that into kids' heads. I'm loving it. and then they get fined loads because you can't have an emotional association with the food. It's illegal. So, but they've already done that. They took the hit, and now all they do is go da 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 da. Don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Clever.
It's psychology.
But yeah, it's in
massive.
there then, and you know it's there, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've took the hit for something further down the line.
Yeah, yeah.
It's insane, innit?
When they can't take the multi-billion pound company, so they'll know, all right, yeah, well, we know that'll happen, we'll just do that and then we'll deal with it. But it's already done.
What are your views on fast food and stuff like that, Matt? Or am I going down a rabbit hole here, would you?
Yeah, well, it's you know it's not good, is it?
Would you have a little blast now and again yourself?
If I've been out on a night out, I'll have a chippy, but
well, yeah.
What? Not really any other time.
What you go to? If I said to you, listen, you're gonna have, I don't like to call them cheap foods, mate. You're gonna have something and it's unhealthy. What are you having? Can have whatever you want, sir. There's no judgments here.
Probably a Chinese. I'd say.
Is that you go to? Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's not even that. I don't know whether it's just because of it's healthy for so long. It's not really like.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm not, like,
appeal
consciously
to you.
Like not doing it. I just like don't
want to.
Don't really, yeah.
I feel like it's a domino effect. If you start eating bad, well, I know for me personally, if I eat well and I'm eating well all the time, bad food doesn't appeal to me the same. Sometimes it does. Like if I'm training, I might think, oh yeah, I could smash a burger now or whatever. But it's like the more I've ate healthier for a longer period of time, it's like, if I eat shit, it's like, it makes me feel shit, and it's like, this isn't a treat for me. I'm fucking punishing myself here. But if I get on the train of like, it's a slippery slope, you start eating more shite and more shite, then it's like, you'll start liking it more, and then it seems like eating healthy is a chore. I feel like it's a domino effect, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, 100%. It's the hardest thing is to break a habit, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing it all the time, it's not an issue. But then, as I say, if you are eating that type of food all the time, you just think, oh, it's like when you get into a routine, like preparing your meals the night before, doing all your meal preps, and you're like, why don't we always do this? This is like well easier. And then you stop doing it, and then it's like, can't be arsed. You know what I mean? It's like just getting back on the wagon's the hardest bit, isn't it? And
as well, it's not very readily available, is it? Healthy food, like, you know, you can fly in and grab like a burger or a butty or whatever from somewhere, but if you're out and about and you're working and you're on like, you know, whether you're on a health kick, whether you just want to eat healthy, or whether you're trying to make weight for something or whatever. I've been there where I've been at work and been out and about, and it's like, I need something quick here because I'm hungry. I haven't brought me dinner with me. I'm not prepared, but there's Subway there, there's blah blah there, but there's not, like, you can't just fly in. It's not as easy to just go in somewhere and get something like healthy, readily available, bang there and then. So I think that's part and parcel of it as well, because you've got to put the legwork in, you've got to cook a bit more, you've got to prep a bit more, do you know what I mean? You've got to
100%.
It can be a deterrent for people.
Especially I have loads of lads in who are just like out on the tools in the van all day, and then it's just like got to go and get a meal deal from Tesco or whatever.
Yeah, because it's there.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you do just need to try and get into that cycle of it and making it
conscious
normal.
Effort, and know it's there, and then it becomes easy. Hydrogen water. Can you talk a little bit about hydrogen water to me?
Yeah. So again, we're looking at like detoxification. Hydrogen's a master antioxidant. So whether you're taking it in hydrogenized water.
What is hydrogen? Is it gas?
It's a molecule. Yeah, it's a molecule, and it's called ionization. So in a bottle, you'll ionize the water to put hydrogen molecules into it, and then you can either use inhalation through like a cannula to inhalate the hydrogen molecules, or you can drink it in the water, and then it just, once it's in your system, it's dispersing through your lungs, your tissues, and doing its all the restorative work.
What's the difference between hydrogen water and a bottle of water that me and you were drinking on the side, you know?
Well, it's just that's just plain water, isn't it? So it's not got the hydrogen molecule in it to have them effects. So again, you're hydrating yourself there, which is great. It's what you should be doing, but it's just another little biohack, if you call it, just the way, well, I'm drinking water anyway, so I'll just get some extra hydrogen molecules in, which are going to help my body detox. So detoxification is just such an important thing. Again, like we were saying, all the environmental toxins that we're exposed to every day. So any little bit of help you can get.
You do a hydrogen bottle, don't you? Like you can get like a container. You press the button.
Yeah, I do that. The hydrogen bottles, and I've got hydrogen inhalation machines as well. So the hydrogen bottles are great. I like to have them on my desk, and if you have 6 or 7 bottles of that a day, great. But for maybe elderly people who are looking to get them benefits, and it's no good for them going up and down the toilet, they might want to take it in the inhalation form. So they're going to get them benefits, but they can just have it sitting on the couch with the cannula on for an hour.
Just inhale it?
Yeah, just have like one of them cannulas on that comes around with the nose pieces there, and it'll just, just as I say, just again another
avenue. Yeah, same result, but a different method. Talk to us a little bit about the body scan that you're doing, Matt, because I've been to yourself and I've had one before, and you know the RMR test and all that. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and educate people about that?
So the body scan, first of all, it's just it's an imaging camera which you go on a turntable, turn around, takes hundreds of images a second of you, and using DEXA software, which is the gold standard of body composition analysis. It creates an avatar version of you which goes onto the computer, and it gives us 21 precise measurements across the body, body fat and lean muscle mass readings. Also breaks down what areas of the body that we're storing the fat most. Looking like your visceral fats, the dangerous stuff around the organs, your subcutaneous fat, the outer layers which we can pinch, your android mass, which is like your torso, and your, mine's gone blank, lost the last one. But yeah, so it's giving you a really good picture of where your body's at. And to start with, it's just data. It's like,
can we target separate fats? Sorry for interrupting you, but that's why it was just on my brain. I didn't want to lose it. So the way you mentioned, there's different fats. Obviously, there's like the dangerous fats around your organs, but then there's like, the fatty tissues that we can actually grab on our body and we can pinch it. Can we target separate fats, Matt?
Not really, no. It's like
emptying the water.
It's like emptying the water of a bath. Do you know what I mean? So it's just all gonna come off accumulatively. Yeah. So yeah, with that scan, it's just data to begin with, but then it's really good for like accountability and measuring where you're going. So say the goal is muscle gain. We've got 21 precise measurements there across your biceps, your chest, your thighs, your glutes, all this, and we can say, right, okay, well, we're going to increase strength training. You're going to be focusing more on weight rather than repetition. Going to implement it more times a week, and we're going to increase the amount of calories and the protein that you're taking on board each day. And then let's come back in next month and we can measure. And then when we come in again, we get a progress report, and that's when the reports start coming to life, because we can see, right, okay, if we can say honestly we've put everything into practice, here's the results. Are we happy with the results? If we're not, you may have done everything right and we haven't seen a change. There's a lot more that goes on other than just calories and macros when we go down to more the thyroid and everything else which could be playing a part in it. So it's just say, all right, well, you've done everything right, it's not working, so we need to take a different approach, we need to change things up, and then we can come back and reassess again in a month. So it's about not getting stagnant and keeping that progressive curve towards our goals, constantly going up, so we never plateau. Because everyone, you know what it's like when people go on a weight loss journey, especially the first month they might lose loads of weight, and then the next month it just plateaus completely.
Yeah.
So it's just about,
even if you are doing the same thing and sticking to it, it doesn't. It can slow off.
That's it. So it's about making sure that we're noticing it's slowing off. So we need to change something. So you think everyone lives busy lives. So you want to be, if you're putting time aside 4 or 5 hours a week or whatever it is to go and train, you want it to be the most effective way possible. So it's training smarter, not harder.
Do you think the world's got busier, Matt?
100%.
People in general.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Everybody you speak to is busy.
Yeah, we are.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody sad, you talk to, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just doing this, I'm doing that. Or yeah, I've been doing blah blah and blah blah. And like people are smashing like 7-day working weeks out nowadays. A lot of people, and they're busy after work, they're busy before work. It's hard to try and find time for ourselves.
And what I'm very conscious of is borrowing from other cups. So if you look at you might be training, you might be trying to run your own business, you've got family and financial stuff. So say you want to concentrate. So for instance, I've just done the Ironman in Switzerland. So that involves a lot of training. So where's that extra time coming from? One of them other cups is going to suffer. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to be able to do as much me business work. The family's going to suffer. So if you want to progress in one of them areas, something's got to give, Annie. So it's about just trying to keep them cups balanced and just like...
Balance is hard, isn't it?
100%. But I am quite conscious of that, and like I do try and just keep it making sure the kids aren't suffering with me working and with the training and stuff. And yeah, it's something you got to pay attention to.
It's difficult. On a side note, I was talking to John Mullen from JT Medical Aesthetics this week. He's one of our sponsors. Shout out John and all the team there. And he mentioned you as I spoke. I said you were coming on, and he spoke really highly of you, and it's nice. But it's also credible because he's, qualified and very knowledgeable in his own field, and it just goes to show, Matt, that medical professionals are on board with what you're saying and they value your opinion, you know what I mean? And that was just a side note I wanted to put in there, because when I was speaking to him the other day, he was like, oh yeah, really knows what he's talking about and stuff like that. So it's credible that you're not just like rattling off a load of madness. These people are also educated in their own chosen fields, and they're like, yeah, it's credible exactly, what you're saying, and just nice to hear.
No, it's boss that, yeah. John's a great lad. I refer a lot of people to him for the blood work now as well. Yeah. But I've noticed that over the last couple of months it has really started to come on. I'm getting a bit of credibility with people. Like
you deserve it, Matt.
Nice one, mate. But I'm in a Concordia clinic now. We've got
tell us a little bit about that, yeah.
Have you ever been into Concordia?
No, I've never been.
It's brilliant, mate. So it's just a clinic. We have all the hyperbaric oxygen chambers, the red light therapy. We do the physiotherapy, the cupping, sports massage.
Wow, it's like a wellness centre.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Wide range of customers going in there. So the Fit to Fight team are in there. So every fighter registered in the country has to go there once every 6 months to get the fight medical. So we're seeing all them to come through the door.
Wow.
So
where is it? Where is it based?
It's on St Anne Street, opposite the police station.
Okay, yeah.
So we've got a lot of high-end athletes going in there. We've also got a lot of sick people coming in there as well, because the hyperbaric oxygen therapy is such a good therapy now. The awareness of it's...
What is hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
So it's basically giving you a high dose of oxygen in a capsule which is under pressure. So basically with oxygen, we are at sea level now. We're consuming about 21% of oxygen. Now, if I was to give you a mask with 100% oxygen now, it just goes to waste. Your red blood cells are saturated. You can't take on any more. So when we add the pressure, what happens is the blood serum then becomes a delivery device for the extra oxygen. So now all this extra oxygen can be absorbed into your body. It disperses like the hydrogen into all the muscles, the tissues, and increases the repair process. So a lot of people go in for if they've got injuries, or people who've got chronic diseases, things like that. Or again, it creates new blood vessels as well. So really good for brain injuries. I always push it to the fighters as well. Like, you got to think when you're taking these brain traumas off a heavy knock, like the myelin sheath which coats around the brain, which is protecting the blood-brain barrier, protecting from Alzheimer's and cognitive decline, is impaired. So just getting in the chamber is so important. But yeah, it's really, really good tool all around, the oxygen therapy. But yeah, back onto Concordia, it's a great place, and Rob, the owner's brilliant. Alex has master gym downstairs as well.
Yeah, Alex Foreman.
And so they've got me my own room in there now, so it's brilliant. So I'm absolutely loving it. But with the fit,
are you there 1 day a week at the moment?
Yeah, 1 day a week at the moment. Yeah. With the Fit to Fight, so they've got a doctor on there as well, and get on really, really well with him, and he's all on board with it. So you find with a lot of doctors, and you can't really blame them because they're invested in the system. Like, they've spent all this time learning.
And a lot of them don't want to own up to, hang on a minute, this information that I've been given's been totally misleading, and the stuff that I thought was credible and knowledgeable is wrong. So because they've already, that narrative, they've invested in so heavily, they're scared to break away from it and go, fuck, that's a load of shite.
Yeah, that's it. It's just being like, they're not really trained in nutrition and that side of things, are they? So they look for the pharmaceutical approach, whereas this is more of a holistic approach. But as I say, the doctor who's on board in there is all for that. I love the forward-thinking doctors who are really looking to do that. As I say, I'm in a big WhatsApp group with some of the best holistic doctors all over the country, and some of the stuff they're implementing.
Do you think we're going places in that sense? From being on the inside, for me, obviously I'm an outsider, I'm just your everyday Joe, but obviously you're on the inside a little bit with that type of thing. Do you think we're moving forward and we're going to start taking big steps in that type of way as a society or as a nation? Or
I do 100%, but one thing that does frighten me is like all this stuff that's going on now with the censorship. You see people getting arrested for tweets and stuff like that. Like
crazy, innit?
The thing is, what worries me, like you've got to be so careful what you say. You've got to be so careful what you say. But in terms of, I cannot come on and say that one of the therapies or anything we do is going to help a certain disease or anything like that, because you just get wiped off, like be deleted from Google searches, social media, like, and that's your whole platform.
It's suppressed information, isn't it? And it's sad, but it's true. And if someone's got a narrative strong enough, and they're a person of power or the powers that be, the information that is put out against their narrative's getting suppressed. It's not going out. They just
want the information that they've got to share, what they want. So you're buying their products or whatever it may be. So it's scary. But yeah, like you said, I do we are people again are a lot more switched on again down to the information that we can get through the internet now. We're living in the world of information. It is a good time, but also a lot of misinformation. So you just got to make sure you're looking in the right places.
Let's switch it up a little bit and touch on your personal fitness goals, Matt, and your whole own health and fitness journey. Touched on it a little bit earlier that you were into fitness earlier on in your life, and now you've grown more into well-being and longevity and, a more recent found passion, hobby, which has now become a lot more intense at your profession. But you're a bit of an endurance man, aren't you? And I've seen you've participated in, high rocks events and other long-distance stamina events. But can we talk about your recent out in Switzerland where you took part and completed an Ironman? You're some man for one man, by the way. Well done, lad.
So for me, I do love like a bit of competition, like a little bit more, not so much competition, because I'm only out there to compete against myself. I'm not brilliant at these events. I'm not going to be like podium or anything, but it's just, I need a bit of accountability for me to, you probably have this yourself when you're going into camps for boxing and stuff. Like sometimes in between camps it can be a little bit tough to get going, but once you're in there and you've got a date, it's like bang.
You're locked in.
So I always thrive to have, like within like a 3 months, I'll always have something booked just to keep me accountable. So whether it be at IROCs, which I usually tend to do through the winter, or if it's a triathlon of some form of distance throughout the summer. And yeah, I do enjoy it. I mean, sometimes I question it when I'm doing the long bike rides and stuff, because I used to have murder going with my bird for going out on the ale, and now I'm having murder to go out on a 6-hour bike ride that I don't even want to do.
The Ironman itself, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what it consists of, it's broken down into 3 sections, isn't it? Can you tell us what they consist of, what they are? Yeah,
so it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and a marathon at the end.
How long did that take you to complete, Matt?
12 hours, this last one.
Some going, nah?
Yeah, no, to be honest, it was, I surprised myself. I wasn't.
You've done one before, haven't you? Sorry.
Yeah, I did one in Switzerland a couple of years ago. So I started on the triathlons about 6-7 years ago, and you start off with a sprint distance, so that's 750 metres swim, 20k bike, 5k run, and then each distance goes up doubles. Olympic distance, double that. Middle distance, double that, and then the Ironman is double that. So I've just worked my way through them, built up. But yeah, that was the first one in Barcelona, 2022, and then this one this year, which was stunning, by the way.
What was that like being there, that scenery, Switzerland itself and stuff like that?
It was amazing. Well, that's been voted the best one in the world, so that's why I done it. So if I'm going to get out of bed to do something like that,
you're going to do it
I'm
properly.
only going to pick it. I wouldn't be doing it in Bolton.
You're not doing it half-hard.
No, it's got to be somewhere nice for me. But we had a Boss family holiday as well, took the kids over there, my wife, and had a good week there, and wow, what a stunning place it was unbelievable.
How do you prepare for something like that, Matt? How do you prepare physically for an Ironman? Like that swimming, is it cold, obviously cold water swimming, innit?
Yeah, it was in a lake, which was colder than I thought it was going to be, which was a little bit of a worry, because obviously it's surrounded by mountains, which is
that obviously the temperature is going to impact your performance at 100%, isn't it?
Yeah. So it was touch and go whether it'd go the full distance, this, because if it's below 14 degrees, they have to reduce it. But I think that it needs to be below 14, and it was like 14.8. So I know that doesn't sound very cold for people jumping in ice baths and that, but when you're having to move, it's all right if you're standing still, but when you're actually moving, it is cold.
When you got in there, was it a bit of a shock to the system, or was you all right?
No, it wasn't too bad. Got in acclimatised first, and I've been doing training in there the week before leading up to it, so it wasn't too bad.
Do you know, actually at home here, do you practice cold water swimming?
Yeah, I swim in the Albert Dock.
Do you?
Go in the Albert Dock all the time, yeah. It's go up to Manly Mere as well when I get a chance. That's a nice lake. But yeah, most of the time in the Albert Dock.
What's that like, Matt, when the weather's not the best and stuff like that, and you're getting in the docks, or you try and pick your days?
You know what? The ones where it's like the weather's bad are the best. Especially when you're going up at getting in at 5, 6 in the morning. No one's about. Honestly, you know what, Dilly? You know what it's like when you do a run. You go on a run, like the oxytocin, melatonin, serotonin that's released.
Feel
the
fantastic,
feel-good
don't
factor
you?
off that.
Nah.
Well, times that by 10 when you go on in the Albert Dock. Because especially in the morning, the sun's rising over it, and it the weather might have been a bit bad, and you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're thinking, oh my God, am I really getting in the dock in a minute? And you're just playing the mind games, but then when you overcome it and you've done it,
yeah, it's a big win.
It's you just whatever happens that day, nothing's getting you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're flying.
You're well on the way. In terms of stamina events or anything endurance, long distance, it's my knowledge that it's not just the physical preparation, it's the mental preparation. It's a mental battle, isn't it? If you're doing something and it's endurance based, physically your body's got to be able to carry you, but mentally you've got to be able to withstand that. Do you do anything to reinforce your mindset? How do you prepare yourself or get yourself the mental readiness for something of the magnitude of an Ironman?
I don't know the answer to that.
I like that.
I don't particularly do anything.
I don't know the answer.
I don't particularly do anything. I don't do anything in particular. I think it's just experience now. If you look at you go to watch an Ironman, you'd be very surprised with the demographic of the people doing it. You're just going to picture all these young, well-built lads doing this race, well-built women as well. But it's predominantly, I'd say, 40 to 60-year-old men, middle-aged men. Some of them who don't look in the greatest shape, but a lot of them have been through trauma, or they've maybe been through addictions.
We're all fighting demons, aren't we, Matt? And we've all got that something inside us, and you just got something you want to put to bed.
But it's a big release for people. So people have been through trauma or the addiction. It's like replacing that and giving them something to focus on. And as I say, it's just like you versus you. You're just going to do your best you can, whether it's just completing it, full stop, or whether you're going to get a time, beat the last time that you've done. So yeah, it's brilliant. You find out a lot about yourself doing it.
It's inspiring, it's inspirational. Who inspires you, Matt? Who inspires Matt Maloney?
I really like Ross Edgley. Do you know?
No.
Not familiar with Ross Edgley?
No.
Yeah, he's the main man
so
for
now
me.
I've got to make that my mission to find out who Ross Edgley is.
I mean, Goggins is boss, isn't he? But
Goggins is a geezer.
But for me, with Goggins, he goes to the well and goes probably a little bit beyond, and he's just go hard. Like go through the pain. You know what I mean? Whereas Ross Edgley is just an animal, but it's all scientifically thought through. He will never ever go to the edge like that because he's prepared himself. He's prepared himself to do it. He swam around Great Britain. Took him about 160 days, something like that, if I recall. He's done loads of challenges. He's just done the world's longest swim, continuously swimming without stopping. He's done an Ironman with a tree on his back.
How haven't I heard of this guy,
with a car. Oh, he's unbelievable. He lives in Cheshire as well. But yeah, I just love his approach. So he's looking at, because he's a sports scientist. So
he's a numbers man like yourself.
Yeah, that's it. But it's just all very well calculated. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, he's a beast by any means, but it's all so thought through.
He's not just turning up on a whim and saying, let's go, let's push it.
Yeah, and going through, having a bad knee and running through his knee, or some of the stuff Goggins done.
It's crazy because it works for different people, don't it, as well? And as you say, Goggins, he's one on his own, and he definitely, but, and for some people it is great, and it does push you, and it does motivate you, and other people, It doesn't. It depends. It depends what floats your boat and who you are and how you take as well.
It's good to take little bits from everyone.
100%.
Just
it's like Vinnie Shawman. I had to sit down with him one time and he was like, you know, imagine your missus is going through a terrible time or whatever and you're standing there screaming, you know, who's going to carry the boat? She's going to be looking at you like you're fucking mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where, you know, if you're digging in, you're with the lads and you're out and about, it's what's relevant at the time.
100%, yeah. It is. It's just good to have a load of people to draw on. Now, who else is a beast as well? Ashley Kane.
Ashley Kane, yeah,
now, you know what I mean?
He's an animal.
Like, but again, like we were talking about before, trauma, like, nothing, what can stop him? He's been through the most pain that he's ever going to be through, and he's just got his little daughter that in his thoughts, and it's just like, you can't hurt me. Do you know what I mean? That's his drive.
Yeah, he's
so
an animal.
Again, with the endurance stuff, it's a real switch off for people. Like, he just feels he needs to do these things.
It's a mental game, the endurance gear, innit? Don't get me wrong, your body has got to be able to carry it, but it's your mind. Your mind's got to be locked in on it. I believe, like, some people have probably got the physical ability, but don't have the mental capacity to endure some of these things. Some people mightn't be as physically able, but they've got that mental toughness that they can just say, you know what, fuck it, we're digging in, we're going to go. That's it, you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Aside from all the intricate, detailed and complicated advanced knowledge you've got, and then you use it and simplify it and able to help people achieve their fitness goals or health goals or just longevity in general, you're a great believer in the little things, Matt, like the solid things. You know, little adjustments. I feel like people think that you need to make massive change to get massive results, and that's not the case, is it? If we make a little adjustment, small adjustments, and you can get massive change from a small adjustment if you're consistent and continuous with it. Would you agree?
100%, especially when you're looking at longevity. You're looking at, like, so many people look at, like, getting a before and after picture, doing a 12-week program. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're looking at, I'm trying to teach people how their body works so they can have the information to use it for the rest of their life. And it's like, okay, it might take us a year to get there. You don't need, you like we said, you're living a very busy life. Don't put that much stress on yourself. Just making these little changes, that's what's going to make the difference over time. And then all of a sudden you find yourself and you're like, well, yeah, I've come a long way. It's easy to forget how far you've come. You look back a year, and, like, I always see it with some of the clients' transformations are just unbelievable. And that's not down to me. That's just them implementing what they've been told. Now they've got that knowledge and
small things.
Yeah, 100%.
Small things all the time. You see people like, yeah, I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna change my diet and fucking run a marathon. It's like, yeah, it's just too much all at once. It's like, just start by, you know, just cleaning your diet up or drinking a bit more water or going to bed a little bit earlier. It's them little things 100%. And accumulate over time. Like sleep, food and water, like, are the pillars.
People pay hundreds of pounds on supplements and want to do the hyperbaric chambers and all this, but if you're not drinking enough water and you're not eating right,
forget it.
What's the point? Like, a big one for me, I see more people who aren't eating enough than people who are eating too much.
Do people overcomplicate things?
Yeah, they can do. Just not look at the basics. Look, they want these secret tips without going past first base.
If you eat too small, there's nowhere to go, is there, Matt?
No, so one of the big things, like when we do the rest of the metabolic test, is what we see is if you've gone, so say someone's going on holiday in 12 weeks and then they haven't been training or not, and then all of a sudden they're training 4 days a week, they've cut the calories in half, and they're seeing weight fall off the start, but the rest of the metabolic rate is just getting crashed, and it's hard to recover from because your energy out has gone through the roof and your energy in has dropped right off. So the body's just like, oh, what's he going to do next? I need to reserve energy at rest. I need to hold calories back because I don't know what he's going to do.
For anybody, yeah, they're like, whoa, what's next? For anyone who's watching, the rest of metabolic rate, RMR, is the calories being burnt while we're resting, isn't it? So I might be sitting on the couch and burning X amount of calories, and I might burn next to nothing. And then obviously I'm going to be a lot heavier. You might burn loads while you're just sitting on the couch next to me. Even though we're eating the same diet, same intake, same sleep, you just burn more at rest than I do. Hence you're lighter and I'm heavier. That is your RMR, isn't it, Matt?
Exactly, yeah. So one thing we say when someone has got really low rest of metabolic rate is it's like tell them to reverse diet, and sometimes they look at you like, you're telling me to eat more. I'm trying to lose weight. But we want to eat more,
and then break
have more
it down.
output, and then because if you're like when you're going into fights, if you're going into camp and you've only been eating
1,400 calories or something, there's nowhere to go. You can't have 12, 8.
That's it. Saying depleted, you see a lot of the fighters getting sick, picking up little niggles and bugs because they're so depleted. So in between camps, and we can get match your daily needs. So whether that's 3,500 calories, if you can get stable at burning that, then once you do come into camp, you've got a massive window to reduce from then. So you can cut it back. So sometimes we do need to reverse diet it. And then another big one, increasing lean muscle mass. So weights, when it comes down to weight loss, the weight comes first, always. Because the more muscle mass we've got, the more energy is required at rest. So if you're only burning 1,500 calories at rest, but we can get that up to 2,200, there's an extra 700 calories you're burning a day, and without you even going to the gym.
Yeah, Simo was saying that to me. He was saying it's like engine sizes in a car. You can have more diesel if you've got a bigger engine. Well, it's the same thing. If you've got more muscle, you can take on more fuel. If you've got less muscle, you can take on less fuel. So if you haven't got much muscle, and you're looking to cut your calories down and down and down, you're going to be eating a low amount of calories, and then you haven't got the right amount of energy to match the output that you're trying to get in, and it's just a recipe for disaster. Sometimes we need to try and take on more calories at first and work our way down.
100%. That's where all the health problems come from, a lot of them, when you're not getting enough in. And so if you're not getting enough calories in, you're not going to be getting enough nutrients or minerals in, so you're becoming deficient in them, and that's where the health issues start from. So yeah, getting people's diet right, getting them eating enough is more, for me, what I experience more prominently than getting people to eat less.
Health and fitness are two completely different topics, aren't they, Matt? And I think that's lost a lot on people as well. You know, just in general, just when I think about it, when I sit down and I actually think about it, it's like people see health and fitness in the same bracket, but they're not. They're two completely different things. I could be extremely fit, but really unhealthy, eat shit, don't live right, whatever, but I train like a demon. Well, yeah, I'm fit, but I'm not healthy. Or I could be extremely healthy, but I might never exercise. And it's when the both of them come together, that's when we find abundance, yeah?
Yeah, I made up you said that. So when sometimes clients come in and they're in for solely performance, I'm not going to tell them the same thing as something that I'm going to tell someone for longevity. So like intermittent fasting's a great tool, but if you're a performing athlete, I wouldn't really be recommending it to you. It's important about getting the macros in that your body needs. So ideally not skipping a meal is going to be more beneficial. And then we're looking at you're going to be using more sugars. We're going to be using more things which you're going to need to get you through your energy, through your training, more carbohydrates. Whereas if it was someone who's just looking for longevity, we'd be encouraging them not to be using carbohydrates as much. I'd say that use them as a fuel for the purpose that they're intended to. Yeah,
or if you're having a bit of a busy day, carb up a little bit more. If you're having a bit of a less day, then don't take as many on board.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, the two are the intercross. You can intertwine them, but like even training, like we shouldn't be going to the well every day of the week. We want to have a mixed balance. So for our health protocol, it always consists of a mixture of resistance training with cardio training and interval training. So the 80-20 method is the most widely used method, which is what all the top coaches use. So 80% of your training wants to be low intensity, 20% wants to be really hard. There shouldn't be no in between. So if you're trying to lose weight and you start, right, I'm going to go do 5k every day, and you're going smashing a 5k out, all you're doing there is, as soon as you start running, it's because it's that intense, your body's just using carbohydrates, it's just using glycogen, it's not using fats. So all you're going to do is expend the last 24 hours of carbohydrates that you've ate. So it's about taking it slower as fast.
Yeah, if you plod, you'll get. Yeah. I remember
it's about finding where your fat max is, so where you're burning the most fat. For some people, it's just a brisk walk, get one out, and that can be more beneficial if the weight loss is the goal. But then the high intensity stuff's really good for the cardiovascular health. So we want to tick all boxes for cellular health, fat burn efficiency. We want to be doing low intensity work. For muscle gain, being able to, for longevity, is so important to have fully function of our muscles for our body as we get older. And then
especially your legs as well, Matt, because they're what carry it, isn't it?
100%. And then we want to be doing the high intensity stuff, but we save there's a place for that. So really high heart rate stuff, maybe once or twice a week.
Consistency definitely trumps intensity, doesn't it? If you go out and you just absolutely smash it on Monday, well, you're not doing fuck all Tuesday or Wednesday because you've just mashed yourself up, and then you're trying to pick it up again on a Thursday. You're best just doing little bit, and you seem to get, with them marginal gains, you get a better routine, it's smoother, and you start to grow and build better. That's what I've found.
I love the Whoop Band. Have you got a Whoop?
I haven't, you know.
I really, really like the Whoop Band. So it's giving you a guide of what you should be doing that day. So it's looking at your heart rate variability. So when this is really high, we know that we're recovered. So today might be a good day to do a good session, a good hard session. If we're waking up and that's on the floor, then we're not really going to be getting many benefits from doing a really hard session. It might be either worth having a rest, doing a sauna that day, or just doing the low light jog, whether you're getting on the bike, going for a swim, a light run, walk. You're going to benefit more from that.
Do you reckon that old school mentality is lost on that as well, Matt, where sometimes you can be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to dig in today and I'm going to do it anyway, but it's like, yeah, you are going to do it, but you're not going to get many gains from doing this today.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Again, it comes back to restorative sleep as well, so not just the amount of time you spend in bed, it's what how good the quality of the sleep is. So what we get when we've done big heavy sessions, the amount of sleep that's required after that is more. But if we're getting up at 5 o'clock again next morning to train, what happens is we get a sleep debt, and it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. So you might find on a Thursday you've been doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday 5 a.m. sessions every day, and you've been going to bed after 11, not under eating in a calorie deficit. Comes to Thursday, like, why am I so fucked? What's going on here? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel? And you can't put the pieces together. But when you see the Whoop, you've got visuals of that, and it's like, look, there's your body telling you you're well behind on your sleep. So I always used to try and get the training done first thing in the morning. I still do occasionally, but I do take a massive emphasis on my sleep now.
What's your opinion on the 5 o'clock club?
It's great. It's good for getting things done. But if you can say you're going to be going to bed at about 9 o'clock every night, then fair enough. But if you can't get that balance, or you can't have a little nap in the day, then it's not for you.
It's not for me. I've tried it, but because I've got 4 children all under 10, and by the time I've got them settled and sorted everything out and that, I've got no downtime if I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, 9:30 at all whatsoever. And then if I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock and I'm getting up at 5, I just know that my performance is just hindered massively in everything I'm doing. And sometimes I'll hit a wall, I'll crash during the middle of the day, or, you know, more late afternoon. I'm like, fuck. Or I'm proper struggling, or then, yeah, I do start picking up little niggles and that. So what I do is I have my own little routine and I adjust it where, yeah, like a lot of people rave about, you know, if you get up, you beat the day and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you do. But I'm happy getting up at 6:30 and doing my own thing and doing my own training and getting that little bit, because that suits my life better. But people think like, you know, if I'm getting up early, I'm smashing it. You may be, but if you've got sleep deprivation, you're not smashing it. You're hindering yourself, because it's only gonna serve you for so long. That's my opinion on it.
That's it, and you might not notice it, but over consider like with the minimal dose toxicities we see in the meats as well. It's like with your sleep, so accumulate that over the year. Do you know what I mean? That's where
catches up.
Disease and things are starting to come. The body's not repairing properly. There was a study done with I can't remember how old the kids were. I think they were like 16 or something like that, and it was monitored how the liver was detoxifying, how hard the liver was having to work on kids that had 6 hours sleep over like a 2 or 3 week period, and had 8 hours sleep, and it was like less than 50. The liver is working 50% harder when it's had that less sleep. So you could accumulate that over time.
It's crazy. I was having a discussion with one of my friends. This was going back a few months ago, saying about like, if we just done focused work, do you reckon we could do what we do in 8 hours in 4? And we were like, yeah, I think you could. So like, for example, if you get up and you just do an office job and you work 9 till 5 and you arrive at 9, you finish at 5, but you'd have half an hour dinner, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. There's an hour gone. You chat balls to Marie for an hour. You're doing whatever else you're doing. And plus as well, when you're actually working, you're like, you're having a look at that, but might have a scroll for 5 minutes and whatever. You're not just doubling down on that. Where if you come in and just said, right, okay, sound, I'm going to start at 9, I'm going to finish at 1, but I'm all in here. I'm not going to be talking to Marie, I'm not going to be having my dinner, I'm not going to be chatting shit. I'm just going to be fully focused on this, what I'm doing. I think you can get more done in smaller periods of time.
I hate that. It's like the old school mentality, isn't it? Of like working a 9-5. Like, you look at all these forward-thinking companies like Google and that, like they let the staff manage their own holidays in their own time. So you're empowering them. Like, they're not going to take the piss because you put the ball into their court. You know, you give them
workload.
You give them the jobs to do, and they'll manage in their own time. So, yeah, exactly right. Like, what you can get done in between 9 to 5, you could easily get done shorter, and you give people incentives to manage their own time, and they will do that better, and you'll probably be more productive.
Yeah, when I left school, we were doing basic training in the Navy, and in the evening time, he'd say, right, your time's your own now, be 6 o'clock, but you've got your kit to do, blah, blah, blah. At first, he'd say your time's your own, you think, fuck, laughing, and then he'd say, you've got your kit to do, and you know that's your way of saying, no, basically, it's not. If I fuck around, my whole night's demolished. If I work my ass off, I'll have time at 8:30, so it's up to me, what do I want to do? And it's then making them choices about how smooth you're going to be, how hard you're going to work. You're giving you choices, but they're saying, listen, there's the workload, get it done.
Yeah.
If you could give a client or a person only one piece of information to make lasting change to their fitness journey or their lives in general, what would it be?
Probably be that fat is more your friend. So concentrate more on good, healthy fats in your diet and try and reduce carbohydrates, use them for fuel when they're needed.
What's new? What are you working on at the moment in terms of maybe knowledge, information, stuff you're looking to implement into your business with your clients in terms of any new technology or things you think are going to be big in the future which we could all see benefit from?
So at the moment, I'm just detoxification is the forefront of everything that I'm researching. And this week, I've just been like down the rabbit hole with iodine. So I've just seen some amazing things with that and how impacting it is. Like the world's got an iodine crisis at the minute, and it's causing a lot of disease.
What is iodine?
It's a mineral. It's a mineral. It's in the body that's used in every single cell in the body, but it's not something that anyone will be supplementing with. So I've been looking into a lot of that because this all links in with the intercellular test, the Oligo scan, which I'm doing. So we're seeing all these trace minerals and heavy metal toxicities, and I'm just seeing all these different minerals, taking time over each one and seeing the roles that they play and what can cause the toxicities. So yeah, I'm really diving into detoxification from the heavy metals, and just seeing how we can use that with people to try and cure health conditions that they're currently experiencing.
What does the future look like for Matt Maloney or AI Healthician?
Well, I'm taking it over to Dubai in November. So I'm foreseeing and how I'm manifesting that is I'm hoping to be, by the end of next year, I'll be splitting my time between here and Dubai. So if I'm in Dubai like 1 week a month and then the rest of the time here, that's what I see it. It's a big market there. People are really forward thinking with the health, and obviously they've got the money to do it as well. So it's a really good market to tap into. So that's where I see it going. I'd like to be doing more hours in Concordia as well. I really like the environment there and the lads. So yeah,
big boy plans.
That's the goal. But yeah, I'm just enjoying the journey. So I'm not really like focused on an endpoint as such. It's just
that's what it's all about, Matt. I believe if you've got if you're doing it for an end game, we can get lost on it. Where if you're just in love with what you're doing, and there's goals along the way, you can't ever go wrong. I believe you've got to just love it. You seem to really enjoy what you're doing, and that's why you're so focused and so invested in it, boss.
That's it. It's just like I say, when I done my engineering qualifications, and you're doing your studying and stuff, and you know, it's like it goes in one ear and out the other. You don't really digest it because you're not particularly as interested in it, and then it's like now. Every spare second I'm listening to podcasts or reading research stuff, and like, cause I'm like, and that's just not through choice. It's like, cause I'm like really interested in it. I really want to do it. So that's when you found your ikigai, they call it. So when you found your passion, it's serving the world and it can make you money. So that's where I feel I'm at with it. And I say money isn't the goal. I'm not doing it to try and get rich or nothing. I'm doing it just because it's a pure passion.
You love it.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
It's amazing, isn't it, as well, when you're going down all these rabbit holes and that, you're learning yourself, even like, you know, your vocabulary widens, your spelling widens, your reading widens, because you're investing in yourself. So when you're doing all this research and you're doing all these things, you're actually growing massively as a person. It's insane. For yourself. And then you're sharing that wealth of knowledge with others. It's amazing. Let's have a few quick fire questions for a little laugh and just get to know you a little bit more towards the end. Read a book or watch the telly?
Probably watch the telly, but I don't really read books. I listen to more podcasts, or I'll scroll, study, and not particularly reading books.
Hair up or hair down? Crisp or chocolate?
Chocolate maybe. I don't know. It's hard on that.
One thing on your bucket list you haven't done yet?
Go to China.
Nice one. You can only keep one possession. What would it be?
Probably my Garmin watch.
It's a first. I've asked it a few times. A place you'd like to visit you haven't been yet? China.
Yeah.
If you could acquire any one skill overnight, what would it be, Matt?
To be able to box, I suppose.
Would it, yeah? If you could work with any athlete in the world, who would it be and why? Or maybe not necessarily athlete, person.
Person would be Jurgen Klopp by a mile, like, because he's the best person in the world. You know what I mean? I'd love to spend some time with him and pick his brain. Athlete, Ronaldo probably, because like
next level.
Yeah, and I know he's that's what he's about. And you know, say the same for like James Milner as well. People who are like real forward thinkers and just like so like they're going at that age and just how much they put in outside of the workplace.
If someone's interested in working with yourself, how do you go about doing it?
Just message me anytime. I'm always available. I always get back to people quickly.
Man, thank you so much for coming on, and it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a belter, and I really look forward to watching you grow and your company grow, and all the future's massive for you. Thank you. Thanks for taking your time.
Thanks very much for your time. I appreciate that.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, peace out.